Welcome. In this edition of Kurukshetra, we would predominantly focus on Jugaad, the innovations through Jugaad, some of the important patents that have been released for the same, the digital technologies, and the scheme of Lakpati Didi. Now, this talks about showing the scheme of Lakpati Didi focuses on multiple livelihood, showing the way, and this actually provides a support with an aim to earn at least 1 lakh rupees per year for the female member of the society by bringing them more skill development, entrepreneurship opportunities, financial literacy, and community support. Again, there have been schemes like Deen Dayal Antodaya Yojana, which is the world's largest poverty eradication program. There have been concepts of integrated farming clusters where nearly 200 to 300 households come together. Then they actually get support for the livelihood options. This could be farm activity, non-farm activity. They work together, and using affordable credits, they can actually invest in production, processing, and value addition of the commodities. The next is women farmers. They are an integral part of the integrated farming cluster. So Mahila Kisan, as they are being called as, aim to be the center of this project and bring in more awareness and activity generation. The idea is to provide an end-to-end solution with increasing the income for the rural areas and empowering the female members. Also, this framework involves identifying the region, the household, the community, the placements of human resources, the training and the capacity for the same, the private entrepreneurs, how farmer producer organizations can be used to bring in value addition for the post harvest resources, value addition for livestock, and so on and so forth. The next is, in this whole project, the implementation has been done across various states with the help of World Bank. National Rural Economic Transformation Project was initially launched in 13 of the states, and Mahila Kisan Sashaktikaran Pariyojana, which is a subcomponent of the Deen Dayal Antodaya Yojana, has been approved for nearly 6,000 clusters, and based on this, there has been a significant growth that we have registered in the region. Now, the next important thing that we understand is some of the success stories. So, one such success story comes from the Kondagaon block in the Kondagaon district of Chhattisgarh. Here, the intervention was done for maize, vegetables, and non-timber produce, also backyard poultry, and there have been an increase in an income from 1,000 per month to nearly 12,000 per month per member of the family. So again, this has brought significant developments in the region. Now, whenever innovations are brought, the root is the rural area, the villages of India. So any infrastructural improvement, healthcare, education improvement, if it percolates into the rural area, it can definitely bring wonders. So the focus here is to pave the way for transformative journey for agriculture as well as the traditional way of life. So through these Jugaad innovations, we focus on bringing these issues into light. Now, to bring this into light, first of all, we need to understand that based on the National Multidimensional Poverty Index, the poverty rates have significantly dropped from 32% to 19%. However, the challenge remains in terms of infrastructure inadequacy, in terms of lack of quality health care, educational disparities which are seen, also digital technology, renewable energies, and advanced practices in agriculture are something that needs to be focused on. So renewable energy, we talk about the jobs that could be created, sustainable development that can be brought with it. For transformed rural India, economic empowerment, environmental sustainability are some of the other issues. Then, under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, we talk about one important term which is RPO. This is Renewable Purchase Obligation. Now, what happens is, this requires the entities to actually get specific percentage of the total energy consumption that comes in from the renewable sources. So that is their purchase obligation, that of the total energy that you are consuming, this has to come from the renewable source, and that would automatically ensure that renewable energies are used at source, Kusum scheme is where farmers actually put in solar power plant, and the additional solar energy is sold to the discom, so they can get additional income out of it. But all of this looks easy when we are discussing those, but in reality there are widespread challenges. These are integration, financial barriers, technological gaps, infrastructural gaps, and regulations as another important issues. So the opportunities definitely are immense in terms of the renewable sources, in terms of energy storage, green hydrogen that we talk about. So beyond agriculture, even bringing in green jobs, water management, decentralized renewable energy solutions are some of those. So for example, solar energy can be used for lighting, wind energy for natural power. Then innovative applications can be done. Green hydrogen can be used as a clean fuel to reduce the crude oil imports, and there can be developments based on that. Now, as we talked about Jugaad, so we have Mitti Cool, which is a kind of refrigeration process built using clay and mud, and this has been considered as one of the Jugaad innovations, very cheaper and cost effective in comparison to refrigeration. So these ways there are numerous such Jugaad innovations which have been awarded by NIF, National Innovation Foundation, and this includes the multi-purpose food processing machine, amphibious cycle that can float on water, a bicycle weeder which is known as Krishi Raj, Chandraprabha water gun which is a sprinkler. Then we have Santee multi-purpose motorcycle that operates the various farming equipments. So when the farm size is low, you cannot have tractors on the farm. So rather than this motorcycle can actually have the farming equipments being operated from the motorcycle. So these are again expressed in detail. So how you can, let's say if we talk about low cost drip irrigation, the discarded PVC pipes have been used, the water efficiency increases by 50%, and this actually comes from the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Similarly, solar powered grain thresher are the threshing machines. 60% reduction in the cost can be seen because it is solar generated. Similarly, biogas, if being used, can reduce the LPG consumption by 30%. The kitchen waste can go for biogas conversion, which can again come to kitchen for cooking purpose, right? So similarly, solar lanterns, eco-friendly toilets, soil health monitoring systems, micro hydropower generator systems, biocar stores. Now these are again important. These have an ability to increase the efficiency and reduce the expense by 40%. This also increases the soil quality. EcoSan toilets have been built, which are ecological sanitation toilets, and these innovations are a way forward for equitable distribution of developmental opportunities, because if you are cutting down on the cost using technology, the technology or the concept can be brought into a wider reach. So bringing in literacy, awareness, and reducing the disparity can go well with this. Most of the Jugaad applications have been either related to education, agriculture, clean water, healthcare, and banking and finance. Now with banking and finance, the JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and mobile, this has brought revolutionary developments in the rural areas. If we talk about telephone numbers, they have soared from 41 million to 943 million between a span of nearly 10 years from 2001 to 2012, and of these 911 million are only mobile phones. Teledensities have increased in the rural as well as urban areas. In the rural areas, they have increased by nearly 30 times. Urban to rural teledensity ratio has decreased, which is a good sign. That means now in rural areas also, you have enough number of telephones. Wi-Fi access network interface, which is PM Vani, is available, through which broadcast can be connected through the Wi-Fi hotspots which are being provided. For education, it's the Diksha portal, where digital resources and learning material can be made available in the rural areas, remote areas. Then Operation Flood. Now Operation Flood is basically a term used for white revolution to increase the milk production in the country. In this, automation has been done recently. The dairy products, which are vital for calcium, protein, and vitamin supplements, contribute to the overall well-being. And with this process, we are now trying to bring in better rural incomes, boost the production, and bring in affordable connectivities to the rural chain, right? So nearly 43,000 village cooperatives have come together and established under a common head. There have been studies from NABARD which says that the milk production, which was only 17 million metric tons at the time of independence in India, has increased to 222 million metric tons, which is a significant figure. Again, there have been technologies brought in, for example, data-driven decision making, automated milking systems, inventory and supply chain, precision feeding, dairy-based nutrition, dairy farm management, reducing the greenhouse gas emissions from the poultry, the methane emissions. Again, the data which has been released by Statistica is important. We can see the per consumption of the fluid cow milk was nearly 60 kgs, and this was in India. This is very high as compared to China, Brazil, Russia. We can see the figures. China has an extremely low consumption. Now again, India, we can say the productivity is less. Despite the absolute amount of production is high, the average milk yield per cow, we can say, is lower as compared to affluent nations. Now, technology, automation can benefit the dairy industry, but again, health and comfort of animals is important. So, initial steps have been taken to empower the farmers, to include digital tools for better market facilities, for better herd health management, and then performance metrics as well. The next important thing that we need to understand is agricultural driven innovation. So here we need to focus on schemes like soil health card. We have discussed about this already. Under the NABARD program, there are various research educational institutions. ICAR, the Indian Council for Agricultural Research, the state universities for agriculture are some of those which have been working forward for it. For example, there is a technique which is known as leaf color chart. Now with this, the farmers understand the nutritional requirement at different stages of growth of a plant, and using this, the plant growth can be better monitored. The next is PUSA decomposer. Now PUSA is where the ICAR headquarters are there. So the Indian Council for Agricultural Research headquartered in PUSA, Delhi, and this has been named as PUSA decomposer to decompose the residue of the paddy. This would reduce the stubble burning issue which causes the pollution in the regions of Delhi and the Delhi NCR every year. The next is Happy Seeder, which has been generated by one of the state agricultural universities, and it also manages the paddy residue which is generated in situ. Evaporative cooling as another innovation where freshness of the fruits and the vegetables can be preserved for a longer period. So through the national agricultural market, we can actually promote not only the fruits and the vegetables, but also these innovations in agriculture could be percolated into the grassroots level and bring in better quality and development. So under the ENAM, there is an entry gate, there is online trading and online payment, and finally the process ends there. So few important things that we focus here is precision farming, use of drones, digital platforms, eco-friendly farming, which is organic farming, and increasing the number of food producer organizations. Then the next one is entrepreneurship innovation. So Ninja Cart actually is an innovation by collecting farmers' produce with the retailers and the local eateries. Agri-tourism, homestays is another such concept. Ochra, Ujjain, Mahihar, Amarkantak, Devas are receiving training programs through the Hotel Management Institute in Bhopal for homestay accommodations. Uttarakhand is again providing homestay facilities, introducing rural business courses. Jhabra village in Dhamtari in Chhattisgarh is one of the major destinations for foreigners. Wedding venues have been developed in tribal areas of Bastar and Surajgarh. Similarly, there are custom hiring centers. Now these are where youth connects the agricultural machine owners to the farmer. So every farmer need not to actually purchase the machine. They can connect through the custom hiring centers, and by giving a certain fees, they can avail those equipments during certain tenure of the year that they want. For example, if it is a harvesting season, they would require harvesters, so they would pay in the money for the harvesters and get those, and the people would come in, cut it, and then they would leave. So these are called as custom hiring centers. Again, innovation in the field. In again educational field, digital field, we have numerous innovations. For example, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana for skill development, digital literacy mission to ensure digital awareness to at least one member of the household. Now, mobile banking, fintech solutions, UPI payments are some other ways. 5G technology have been developed in numerous in rural areas. Some of the list of rural areas where 5G has reached is Dhamraj in Anand in Gujarat, Banskhedi in Shivpuri, Madhya Pradesh, and the list is here. So you would have the list in the handouts, you can check those. Then there are two important apps, Meghdoot and Damini. Meghdoot provides the precise weather updates. Damini app actually talks about any lightning strikes if they are to occur, which can lead to animal casualty or human casualty in the rural area. Agromet advisories are also issued to the farmers for the day-to-day operations. So there are nearly 4.3 crore farmers who have been benefiting by SMS updates. In the field of healthcare, again, there have been numerous innovations. Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is one such effort. In the energy, and then in the health, we are also targeting child and maternal health. In the energy sector, renewable sources of energy, solar lanterns, solar lighting. Then Krishi Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan, that's the Kusum scheme we already discussed. Then there have been one important app which is known as GS Nirnay app. This is an app which has been developed by Panchayati Raj to record and document the proceedings of Gram Sabha. So to actually have, it's a kind of portal where Sarpanch Samvad is created. That means to bring in better efficiency of the Gram Panchayats, how this platform can share the best practices and implement the best practices across the globe. Then the next one is water budget audit. This is an institutional innovation which has been adopted in the region. Pilot projects were released in nearly in Rasagangli, Chikkalwas and Gatswam. Then it was actually extended to nearly 600 villages. So the data on where the water comes from, how the wastage water is collected, how the check dams are being built, what are the pond construction, water construction, the Johar techniques have been explained there. The next one is digital technology. So India is actually trying to bridge in this digital divide, and through the telemedicine service eSanjeevani, we are trying to bring in primary health centers connected with the multi-specialty hospitals in the urban areas. The next is eShram portal, where laborers can get registered, the unorganized sector can register and have opportunity for job. There is a Shramik card which would be issued at and this would provide the social security benefits after the age of 60 years. Similarly, we have schemes for women empowerment. Namo drone Didi program is where the women would be given to operate the drones to spray the insecticides and fertilizers. Now this would have two benefits. The health hazards would reduce because person is not directly inhaling, it's going through the drone. And then again the training and lesser utilization of labor to bring in the better results in the rural areas can be seen. Now this would be as a utility. It would help, the digital systems would help in better governance and empower the citizens. So these are some of the important issues that we actually address. So this digital literacy program can actually work well with agriculture, education and health. But there are certain challenges. The challenges is the cost of internet, the proper availability of internet throughout the time, reaching it to the remotest areas, making people more acclimatized to use of internet, and focusing on the factors that could hamper the penetration of internet into the rural areas. So empowering the rural regions definitely importantly require bringing in digital technologies, ICT and bringing in the economically disadvantaged at par with the internet facilities, so the best facilities can be reaped. Again, there have been various programs, for example, the Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, the PMG Disha, which actually enhances the digital literacy among the rural populations for personal and professional development. Also, there have been other edtech development programs which have been released for bringing in better development in the rural areas. So those were some of the key things that have been discussed in Kurukshetra. As we already say, we cover it every month. So handouts are available at exam race and current affairs section, so you can get the downloads from there. Thanks for joining in. In any case or queries, feel free to connect back. Thank you.